She ran to Abuja chasing dreams, but the city had its own plans for her. Chioma sat outside their small mud house in Anambra, watching the evening sky fade into darkness. She had just finished secondary school, and her heart burned with dreams. She wanted more than the life her mother lived, more than the poverty that chained them. She wanted to make her mother proud and give Chike, her younger brother, a better future. But each day, her mother's tired eyes reminded her that dreams alone don't feed hungry stomachs. Chioma, life is not a race, Mama Chioma would say. But Chioma was tired of waiting. She wanted her own story to begin, not tomorrow, but now. One hot afternoon, Chioma called her old friend, Amoka, who lived in Abuja. Amoka's voice danced with excitement through the small phone speaker. Chioma, Abuja is heaven. Money flows like water. I even have my own supermarket now. You just need to come. Those words planted fire in Chioma's heart. That night, she stared at the cracked ceiling above her bed and made a decision. She would go to Abuja, no matter what. She didn't tell Mama Chioma, because she knew the answer would be no. At dawn, she packed her small bag, kissed Chike's forehead, and disappeared into the rising sun. The moment Chioma arrived in Abuja, she was stunned. The tall buildings, shiny cars, and busy streets made her heart race with excitement. Amoka welcomed her with a big hug, smelling of expensive perfume. Her apartment was filled with fancy things Chioma had never seen before. For the first few days, Amoka treated her like a sister, new clothes, delicious food, and promises of work. Chioma believed her new life had begun. But she didn't know that Abuja's beauty was only skin deep, and the city had its own dark secrets waiting. After a week, Amoka began to change. She no longer smiled easily. She stayed out late, wore heavy makeup, and came home with strange men. When Chioma asked about the supermarket, Amoka laughed coldly. My dear, that supermarket story was just to bring you here. There's no easy money in this city. You want to eat? You have to do what I do. Chioma's heart pounded. Amoka, I can't do that kind of life. But Amoka shrugged. Then you'll starve. That night, Chioma sat in the dark, afraid, hungry, and lost in a city that suddenly felt too big. Days passed, and Amoka stopped caring. She locked her food, hid her money, and told Chioma to find her own way. Chioma searched for jobs but found none. Nobody wanted to hire a young girl with no experience. Hunger began to bite hard. One evening, her stomach growled so loud she cried. The streets outside were noisy with laughter and cars, but inside the room, her tears fell quietly. She wanted to go home, but she had no money and no courage to face her mother. Abuja had trapped her. One night, Amoka returned home and threw a dress at Chioma. Wait. You're following me tonight. Enough of this village behavior. Chioma refused at first, but hunger and fear made her weak. That night, she went with Amoka to a club. The lights were bright, and loud music filled the air. Men gave them money. Chioma felt empty inside, but she smiled anyway. It was the beginning of a new, sad life. Weeks passed. Chioma changed completely. She started smoking, drinking, and going to clubs every night. She had tattoos on her arm and wore clothes she once said she would never wear. Money came fast, but peace left her heart. She missed her family and her old self. At night, she cried quietly, asking God to forgive her. One night, police raided the club where they worked. People screamed and ran everywhere. When Chioma reached home, Amoka was gone. She had taken all the money they saved. Chioma sat on the floor and cried. She had no food, no friend, and no one to turn to. She whispered, "This city has destroyed me." The next morning, Chioma borrowed a stranger's phone and called her mother. The moment Mama Chioma heard her voice, she started crying. "My daughter, where are you? Chioma said, "Mama, I'm in Abuja. I want to come home." Her mother said softly, "Come home, my child. I have been praying for you." Chioma cried harder. It was time to go back. When Chioma arrived in Anambra, she saw her mother waiting by the road. Mama Chioma ran to her and hugged her tightly. "You are home now," she said with tears in her eyes. That night, Chioma sat outside with Chike. She told him, "Don't rush for money. Life in the city is not what it looks like." She had learned her lesson. The fast road almost destroyed her, but home gave her peace again. Please like, share and subscribe for interesting stories.